For decades, fans have gotten very emotional about seeing their favorite artists. But today, it's harder than ever to see live music. In 2024, Taylor Swift fans paid $204 on average for tickets to her Eras tour. The average resale price for the tour was $3,800.
The most that we've paid for tickets are $8,000.
Wow.
That's more than $2,800 US per ticket. 60 years ago, when the Beatles played the first major stadium concert in history, the most expensive ticket sold for $5.65. That's about $58 today. So, who's to blame? A lot of people point the finger at Live Nation Entertainment, the company that owns Ticketmaster, manages artists, promotes tours, and owns and operates a lot of venues. Live Nation blames the resale market for the industry's problems.
These runaway resale markets that are run by and for broker interests.
Resale companies like StubHub throw the blame right back at Live Nation.
Any company that's being investigated by the Department of Justice and 40 attorneys general from blue and red states alike, if I were them, I would be trying to deflect as well.
Some musicians call out both resellers and Live Nation Entertainment for driving up ticket prices. But Live Nation points out that it's the artists, not them, setting the price.
It's sort of like a Jenga tower where you start to pull out one block and the whole tower starts to shake and stakeholders start getting mad at you.
We spoke to musicians, a music journalist, lawyers, government officials, Live Nation, StubHub, and customers. And everyone says it's someone else's fault. All while the fans pay more and more. It isn't easy to untangle why concert tickets have become so expensive. We investigated every angle to find the real reasons it costs so much to see your favorite artists on stage. Concert ticket prices have soared about 4 times faster than the rate of inflation for nearly 30 years. But rewind to the 1960s, concerts were practically pocket change.
I mean, one of the most iconic events was the Beatles at Shea Stadium. That cost $5.
We found Rolling Stones tickets for $4.75 in 1965, and Bruce Springsteen tickets for $17.50 in 1985. To be fair, concerts today are much more elaborate than those early stadium tours. As for the artists, touring just wasn't seen as a main source of income.
Artists, for the most part, viewed live performance as marketing. They were making most of their money from recordings. So they'd go out on a tour to help support that particular album.
This all changed with the internet. The rise of peer-to-peer file-sharing platforms like Napster allowed users to download recorded music for free.
Consumers suddenly realized that they don't need to go to their local Tower Records or Strawberries. As a direct result, revenues that are generated by artists drop rather precipitously.
From 1999 to 2009, sales of recorded music in the US were cut in half. Meanwhile, revenue from concert ticket sales in North America tripled over the same decade. While legally downloading music and streaming are often credited as saving the music industry, the massive loss in record sales revenue fundamentally reshaped the landscape. David Bowie saw it coming as early as 2002. You'd better be prepared for doing a lot of touring, because that's really the only unique situation that's going to be left. By 2010, top artists were making the majority of their income from touring. So how much do artists actually make from ticket sales? Deals can vary between artists and touring teams, but in a typical arrangement, artists receive an advanced payment or a percentage of total ticket sales. Say the total ticket price is $140. which was around the average ticket price in 2024. Roughly $102 of that is the ticket's face value. The remaining $38 goes towards taxes and ticketing fees. Before anyone gets paid, around 30% of the face value, or about $30, covers the production costs of the venue and the promoter. That leaves roughly $72 to split between the artist and the promoter, such as Live Nation. In many cases, the artist takes home about 70 to 85% of what's left, let's say $60 in this case, while the promoter keeps the rest, or $12 in this scenario. But once the artist pays for their touring expenses, crew, and management, their real profit per ticket can drop to $30 or less. And that's before adding ticketing fees, which can tack on another 25 to 30%. Most of those fees go to the venue, and a smaller share goes to the ticketer, around 5 to 10% of the total price, or about $6 in this case. Ticket prices weren't always divvied up this way. To understand why most players blame Live Nation Entertainment for steep prices, we have to go back to when it was two separate companies, Ticketmaster and Live Nation. Consumers didn't always pay sky-high ticket fees. In the 70s, fans paid smaller ones, since venues and promoters also covered the cost. That all changed in 1982, when Fred Rosen stepped in as Ticketmaster's CEO. He offered to pay venues if they used Ticketmaster instead of its competitors like Ticketron.
He goes to the venues and he says to them, what if instead of that, you made money? What if we raised service fees from 50 cents to $1.50, and then instead of it being a cost center, ticketing would be a profit center? And all of a sudden, this revolutionized just the very idea, the concept of what service fees could be.
Venue after venue signed contracts, making Ticketmaster their exclusive ticketing platform. By 1995, Ticketmaster owned about 80% of the ticketing market and had acquired its competitors, including Ticketron. Not everyone was on board with Ticketmaster's growing dominance. In 1994, Pearl Jam filed an antitrust complaint with the Department of Justice, alleging that Ticketmaster had an illegal monopoly on ticketing. The following year, the DOJ closed the investigation without action. Around the time Ticketmaster gained dominance, Live Nation was just getting started under the name SFX Entertainment, founded by Robert Sillerman.
Robert Sillerman has the idea that he's going to purchase these local promoters, make them part of one big national company, and then it would be much easier, from his perspective, to route artists across the US and also make money on the sponsorship side.
The acquisitions continued to grow from there. In 2000, Sillerman sold SFX to radio station owner Clear Channel Communications, which strengthened its foothold in not only live events and concert promotion, but also venue operations. Following a series of antitrust investigations by the DOJ, Clear Channel announced it would spin off Live Nation solely as a music promotion business. By 2008, Live Nation was the largest concert promoter in the world, controlling about 90% of major amphitheaters in the United States. Then in 2009, Live Nation and Ticketmaster announced their plans to officially merge. The possibility of a merger sparked widespread backlash. Senator Chuck Schumer criticized the deal, saying it would create unrivaled power over concertgoers and the prices they pay. On Wall Street, stock prices for both companies dipped. And in a letter to his fans, Bruce Springsteen suggested that the merger would return us to a near monopoly situation in music ticketing. In 2010, the Department of Justice approved the merger, which created Live Nation Entertainment. After the merger, Live Nation Entertainment just kept growing. Fast forward to 2025, and the company had expanded into artist management, music festivals, sponsorships, and the resale market. 15 years since the merger, the cost of concert tickets in the United States has continued to rise. Average ticket prices have climbed by as much as 120% since 2010, and particularly surged post-pandemic. It isn't just the face value price of tickets that's frustrating fans. It's also the numerous fees. A 2018 report from the Government Accountability Office found that fees averaged 27% of the ticket's price before resale. We saw this frustration firsthand while speaking with fans outside J-Hope's concert.
The fees are too much.
Me and all my homies hate f***ing Ticketmaster.
Oh, and one thing, what the f*** are $150 fees? I'm sorry.
Fees are ridiculous.
Fees are jail time. In conclusion, jail time.
We also saw for ourselves how fees change in real time. We filmed our colleague AC's attempts to buy tickets to Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour in early 2025.
There has to be somewhere with 2 tickets left. Please, no. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get 2 tickets that are in the same section that are $3.89 a piece. And then I'm just gonna see on the day of if people will move. Let us sit next to each other. Order. Let's see if that worked. Oh wait, I only got 1 ticket. I thought I got 2. I thought I got 2. I only got 1 ticket. What am I doing? What am I thinking? Oh, this is really bad. This is bad all around. Okay, to conclude, this was a mess. I got a really bad placement in line. I was overwhelmed. I thought I was getting 2 different tickets. I only got 1 ticket for $3.89. And the service fee was $70 plus a processing fee of $5, so I paid $4.64 for 1 ticket. Well, I don't know what to do. I guess that's it.
No artist is immune to rising frustration from fans. In 2022, Live Nation Entertainment faced backlash from one of the fiercest fan bases in the world, Swifties. When tickets went on sale for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in November that year, Ticketmaster crashed under the weight of about 14 million people trying to score tickets. And fans were upset.
And they put me back at the beginning. What am I gonna do?
Even Taylor Swift spoke out. In a statement on Instagram, she called the ticketing chaos excruciating to watch, but didn't name Ticketmaster directly. In December 2022, Taylor Swift fans sued Live Nation Entertainment over the debacle.
We have filed almost 1,000 cases against Ticketmaster, maybe more.
This is Jennifer Kinder, a lawyer who, along with John Genga, represents the 355 Swifties suing Live Nation Ticketmaster.
We're also adding what's called a RICO violation.
Since they control every aspect of the ticket purchasing experience and the live entertainment industry, that's where you get into not just monopolistic behavior, but racketeering behavior.
The lawsuit is still ongoing, but no matter how this case pans out, the fans' anger led to more scrutiny from Capitol Hill, culminating in a Senate hearing, and an even bigger, ongoing lawsuit against Live Nation Entertainment. In May 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice filed an antitrust lawsuit to break up the company. While monopolies aren't inherently illegal in the U.S., the Department of Justice alleges that Live Nation uses its dominance to intentionally stifle competition.
So what we do in the monopolization complaint is really explain all of the ways that Ticketmaster and Live Nation are this dominant intermediary that artists, venues, and fans cannot escape.
That's Doha Mekki, who helped launch the DOJ case. Since we spoke with Doha in late 2024, she's left her position at the DOJ. The lawsuit is still moving forward, with a trial scheduled for March 2026. The DOJ claims Live Nation Entertainment's flywheel business model enables the company to engage in anti-competitive practices.
It extracts service fees and revenue from fans. It is often a default ticketer at the venues where artists want to play. It owns 60 of the 100 largest amphitheaters. It has acquired promoters. It signs up artists through its Live Nation promotion business. And what we allege in the complaint is that this flywheel is really mutually reinforcing. You can't compete, you can't enter, and you can't escape Live Nation's flywheel.
Those allegedly anti-competitive tactics include locking venues into long-term exclusive contracts to limit competition from rival ticketers and restricting artists' access to venues unless they agree to use Live Nation as their promoter. Live Nation executive Dan Wall has an entirely different take on the DOJ lawsuit.
Any allegation that our business practices are explaining these ticket prices is just cynical and untrue. If you take that $100 ticket, face value ticket, remember the promoter's going to make maybe $2 out of that. And then when you look over to the fee side, people always make the assumption that those fees are Ticketmaster fees or whatever the primary ticketing company is. They're really not. If you've got a $30 fee on top of that, then the ticketing company is going to get $4 or $5.
But the DOJ lawsuit claims that by acting as both the ticketer and the promoter, Live Nation can double dip and inflate fees and revenue, all at the expense of fans. Although ticketing may earn Live Nation just $4 to $5 for every 100 spent on tickets, the company's 2024 financial results reveal that it's actually the most profitable arm of the business based on adjusted operating income. Live Nation's CEO Michael Rapino said so himself in a 2018 earnings call. If we get 90 million customers in our flywheel on a positive basis, we can sell them more food, we can sell them more sponsors, we can sell them more ticketing services, all higher margin businesses than the low margin flywheel. When it comes to the DOJ's allegations of anti-competitive practices, Dan points out that it's industry standard for venues to have exclusive deals with promoters, and claims that competitors are doing the same thing.
The ticketing market evolved in a way that ticketing contracts are granted by venues on an exclusive basis. So AEG, who's our biggest competitor, also is a very major owner and operator of venues. They have lots of venues, and our policies are pretty much exactly the same. Sometimes we let our rivals in, sometimes we don't.
But the two aren't exactly created equal. Live Nation controls a dominant share of the U.S. concert promotion and venue operations market, far outpacing AEG. So today, the industry is at a standstill, and everyone is pointing the finger in a different direction. Live Nation Entertainment says high prices reflect demand. And ultimately, it's artists who set the base price for tickets, not them. So we talked to some musicians. And while the band we spoke to agrees that artists set these base prices, they point the finger right back at Live Nation for high ticket fees and controlling the industry. In January 2023, following the Taylor Swift lawsuit, musician Clyde Lawrence, of the band Lawrence, appeared at the U.S. Capitol to testify in a Senate hearing. Clyde shared that Live Nation often assumes the roles of promoter, ticketer, and venue operator simultaneously, a claim echoed in the DOJ antitrust case.
If they want to charge us $250 for a stack of 10 clean towels, they can and have.
In their song False Alarms, Lawrence even included the lyric, "Fame's overrated, Live Nation's a monopoly." Beyond the lyrics, band members were a bit more cautious when we caught up with them in their studio, saying that Live Nation isn't solely to blame.
There is a lot of consolidation, and part of working with Live Nation does mean that you are going to work with Ticketmaster, and part of working with AEG means that you are going to work with AXS or Access.
When we're ragging on Live Nation, In a lot of ways, it's because they are the biggest company, and so they have the power to set industry standards. And that's a really powerful position to be in.
While Lawrence says companies like Live Nation Entertainment carry a lot of the blame, the band joins Live Nation in calling out another key player, the resale market.
I think one piece of ticketing that artists don't have any say in is the secondhand ticketing market.
In 2024, more than 250 musicians, including Billie Eilish, Lorde, and Fall Out Boy, signed a letter urging lawmakers to help reform the broken system of predatory resellers and secondary platforms. And there's data to back them up. This chart made by the Government Accountability Office in 2018 lists 3 studies that found that resale prices could range from about 15 to 112% more than the face value price. And a 2023 NITO study of 65 concerts found that resale tickets averaged nearly double the original ticket price. We talked to StubHub, the first online resale ticketing site.
In 2024, on average, 80% of our tickets were under $100. So I know that these Taylor Swifts, they get a lot of headlines, but they're actually not illustrative of the real experience on the platform.
Those numbers are based on StubHub's internal data, which they did not share with us. And like Live Nation, StubHub says they're not responsible for setting the ticket price.
We make suggestions to them, hey, your ticket's not selling, you might consider lowering them. So it's really up to the seller. We have no role in setting those prices. So it's really where the market is.
But that doesn't address the issues of fees, which are where StubHub makes its money. The same 2018 study from the Government Accountability Office found that resale platforms often charge higher fees, about 31% of the ticket price on average, compared to 27% on primary sales.
So the secondary marketplace, the resale marketplace, is enormously responsible for the inaccessibility that exists with live entertainment in this country.
That's Senator James Skoufis. He's been working on live event ticketing reforms and regulations in New York. And unlike primary ticketers, resellers like StubHub charge fees for both the buyer and the seller, allowing them to profit more from a ticket than the artists themselves.
So why do you think StubHub deserves more profit share than, say, people that are directly involved in the event itself?
I don't. I don't think that StubHub deserves more profit than the artists and the teams who are creating, the show and the event. We want to work directly with artists and teams.
StubHub and resale sites have also been sued in 2024. The DC Attorney General accused StubHub of deceptive drip pricing and junk fees, which are fees that are hidden until the end of the checkout process. The DC case is still pending. Meanwhile, the FTC finalized its junk fees rule for live event tickets, effective May 12, 2025. StubHub told Business Insider that the company is in compliance with the 2025 rule. Ultimately, StubHub brings the blame back to Live Nation.
They're under investigation. They have to point the finger at something else. When they talk about pointing the finger at resale, do they mention that they're also in the business?
Alex points out that Live Nation Entertainment also participates in the resale market, something singer Olivia Dean took issue with in November 2025. The criticism led Ticketmaster and CHCESZ to agree to refund anyone who paid more than face value, as well as cap future resale ticket prices. And in the UK, the government announced in November 2025 that it would ban the reselling of tickets at a price above their original cost. In public statements, Live Nation Entertainment distanced itself from other resellers. Speaking of Ticketmaster's resale program, in 2025, the FTC sued Live Nation Entertainment for allegedly allowing bots to bypass security measures while profiting from the additional fees and inflated markups. Live Nation denies the FTC's claims, but say it's rolling out changes to its resale service. Even with those changes, artists take issue with the secondary market because they don't profit from inflated resale prices. To combat this, Ticketmaster introduced dynamic pricing back in 2011. Essentially, artists can increase ticket prices in real time when the demand is high and reap the benefits. Dynamic pricing has made headlines for pushing up the price of tickets, angering some artists, while others faced criticism from fans for using it.
How does it make you feel that people are paying like up to $500 for this show?
Angry, upset. We're not about that, to be honest.
I'm not about dynamic pricing.
Hell no. That's what I gotta say. They need to stop with this dynamic pricing that normal people can't afford and only the Nepo babies and the bots can buy. Cause who's buying a $500 ticket? Like, I gotta eat. I got groceries.
Stop scamming us. Please.
After all the frustration and finger pointing, there was one thing everyone we spoke to had in common. They still remember their favorite concert.
Mother's Day weekend, 1994. I had grown up in New England, so I had seen the band Phish.
That's a tough one. I was fortunate to go to one of the U2 concerts at the Sphere.
In college, a bunch of friends and I saw Gym Class Heroes.
My favorite concert ever was Bruce Springsteen in Spain.
Last year, we were able to go to Paul McCartney's Underplay at the Bowery Ballroom.
My daughter has been a Swiftie since about the age of 3. By doing that together, that we were less mom and daughter and parent and child, but we were more fellow females in the world that we live in today.
It reminds us why live music matters.
It was a night where essentially, for the first time ever in the band's career, the band is music I care for, they played essentially an entire improvised second set.
People were jumping and screaming to these songs that we've all kind of...
And he even said from stage, he's like, oh, this reminds me of,
back in the day.
In the early 60s before we were playing big venues. It was crazy.
But if the way the industry operates doesn't change, more and more fans could get priced out of these concert experiences that mean so much.
The current system is rigged against the large majority of fans, and the system every single year becomes more and more rigged as the industry stakeholders become more and more comfortable with jacking up prices. There are only 50,000 seats in that arena, 60,000 seats in that arena. It's a question of how many of those 50, 60,000 seats are filled by normal fans versus rich fans. I want more normal fans in those seats.